foresight to understand what you're looking for, because
Right.
a lot of what we find is, I need to move data. Okay, what data do you need to move and why?
Mm.
Why is a key question here, because sometimes it might just mean I have data over here and I have data over here, and I don't really need them to talk to each other, but I need to be able to see them together.
Mhm.
And now that's a different story. That's a different style of integration. And something like the Power Platform, Power BI solves that without having to do a pipe between the two.
On that pipe, though, one of the things that we've seen is when people have written their own custom integrations and those kinds of things, is you mentioned it just really quickly, but I want to go back in on is the maintenance of it, right?
Maintenance.
Yeah.
So TaskTop does what, 51 connection points between their hub, I think, somewhere in
And they add something new every quarter.
Right.
And the key that one of the key things they do is they are constantly battering against all of the REST APIs that all the tools and components they connect to on a nightly basis.
Right. So they're running integration tests with all of these
Right.
tools on a nightly basis. So they're going to probably be even ahead of the customers if in finding an issue. If
Correct.
somebody at ServiceNow or Jira or Microsoft or somebody makes a change that maybe breaks something or changes the behavior of it, they're going to be ahead of it and be able to say, hey, not only do we know it, but we already have a fix for it,
Right.
which is so much. And guess what? You don't have to pay anything else for it. It's part of your subscription.
Oh.
APIs change. I mean, do they change nightly? No.
No.
But
Mhm.
if they offered a new feature that you're now taking advantage of, you might have an API change. If they're deprecating a way of doing things, but they replaced it with something else, you have an API change. While that is not a earth-shattering revelation, it is still something to be aware of. And if you have companies out there that you're buying tools from that are actually keeping that up before you even see the problem, because you're likely behind on your update to your software. They're not. They're getting the beta versions. They're getting the stuff that is always up to date to ensure that their components are still working no matter what.
Okay.
They allow people to work in the tools that they need to work into, right? I need to be in this side, I need to be in that side. I don't want to be in both. That's key. The other thing that they do is they force standardization. Because the data, you have to follow for each line, each track that you create, each model, you have to follow a
logic
rule,
path,
right?
Yeah.
You can't just, when you do human integration and I want to say, I can see this is a number 2, I move number 2 over here. This is a number 3, I can do that. But you're doing the business rule, but you're doing it because you know it. But if you put that through a computer, it doesn't tell me what 2 means. But when now everything means the same thing, you have to all play by the same business rules. So that the integration enforces better standardization, which in turn increases that value of the data as a whole.